Honorable Eric Osei Owusu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity given me to participate in the ongoing debate of the government's budget statement and economic policy for 2018. Mr. Speaker, I would like to contribute to the cocoa subsector. As we all know, cocoa is the major backbone of our of our agriculture in this country. However, what we are seeing today is a decrease in production of cocoa, and I believe this is. I believe this is as a result of the bad policies that the cocoa subsector is facing. Mr. Speaker, looking at the investment that has gone into the cocoa subsector, we realize that there's been an anticipated increase in the cocoa subsector by 188%. This is stated in the 2018 budget. We recruited about 30,000 youth to support artificial pollination. And we're also seeing irrigation, which is the first of its kind in the cocoa subsector. However, the cocoa production figures is seeing a decline of 7.2% from 969,400 metric tons to 904,000 metric tons. This obviously can be attributed to, as I said earlier, the bad policies that we are seeing over there. If you consider the budget allocation to Cocoa Board, there was an increase of 63.9% to the Cocoa Board headquarters. There was also an increase of 68.2% to Cocoa Marketing Company. Quality Control Department also had an increase of 62.6%. And then crop financing had 318%. However, the cocoa farmer, who is the most important in the value chain, was left with zero.
Well, Honourable Member, you know the rule. You know the rule.
Policy.
What estimates?
He's doing estimates. What we are discussing is policy. He's doing estimates.
Honourable Member, you are completely out of order. Yes, Honourable Osei, we should continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, what I'm saying here is that the cocoa farmer, who is the most important person in the value chain, has been left out with no support at all. And obviously, this is why we are seeing such a decline in cocoa production in this country. I believe that is dangerous, because if we are not careful, what we stand to experience is that eventually our resources to support our national budget from the cocoa subsector will be so declined that it will affect us seriously. So we must really look at it and be doing something about it. The cost of living for the cocoa farmer is not the best, nothing to write home about. I would also want to look at the National Food Buffer Stock, which is supposed to be the marketing link of the Ministry of Food and Agric, MOFA. Mr. Speaker, yes, there's been some warehouses that are being put up. These warehouses are all supposed to be 1,000 metric tons. But Mr. Speaker, you agree with me that 1,000 metric tons really is very small to accommodate the anticipated increase based on the investments that we've put in under planting for food and jobs. Because a 1,000 metric ton warehouse can only hold 500 bags. And so, Mr. Speaker, I believe that we should look at it properly and then perhaps seek to increase it by a minimum of 5,000 metric tons, which I believe will be quite adequate for the investment that has been put in under planting for food and jobs. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I strongly will propose that the MPP government...
Honourable Member, are you willing to give way to your colleague opposite?
Sorry.
No,
Mr. Speaker, no.
Are you willing to give
No,
way
Mr.
to
Speaker.
Then you may continue.
sit down.
Mr. Speaker,
Wait back. If you get that information, that is the only time.
I strongly believe that what we are seeing today in Ghana's agricultural sector is more rhetorics than achieving results. And we must be very careful because we keep saying that agriculture is the backbone of our economy. However, we are not seeing much improvement in that area. I mean, it clearly shows when you go to the market and then you pick food items. We all know the price of food commodities today. However, I would have thought that with the major investment that has gone into planting for food and jobs, and in the cocoa industry especially, which has gone directly to administration, we should rather have channeled it to support farmers so that, food pricing would come down for us all to enjoy and for we to have the stable economy which we tout ourselves today. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity.
Honourable members, with this, I will